much about what dyslexia is and isn't. We know it's a brain-based condition that impacts reading, spelling, and writing, but it's not a problem with vision. Dyslexia is a problem with understanding and working with language.
Dyslexia is a common learning disorder which affects a person's ability in reading, writing, and spelling. According to International Dyslexia Association, dyslexia is a specific learning disability that is neurobiological in origin. It is characterized by difficulties with accurate and/or fluent words, by poor spelling and decoding abilities. This may be due to problem identifying speech sound and learning how they relate to letters and words. These problems are first identified at school. Dyslexia symptoms may be displayed at any age, but they normally present in childhood. As you can see in the table, the symptoms developed are varied from young children to school-age children and teenagers and adults. However, note that school-age children are developed most apparent symptoms of dyslexia, whereby they will have trouble with mastering the rules of spelling, remembering facts and numbers, handwriting or with gripping a pencil, learning and understanding new skills instead of relying heavily on memorization, reading and spelling such as reversing letters D and B, or moving letters around like left and felt, following a sequence of directions, and lastly, trouble with words problems in mathematics. In my opinion, the PJ theory is the best implement to describe the development symptoms above. Hence, I am suggesting a few classroom activities that relate to PJ theories of cognitive development to assist students with dyslexia in learning. The first activity is writing a newspaper. When producing and publishing a newspaper, students must employ practical processes, particularly language. The teacher may appoint editors, writers, graphic designer, and printing specialists for newspaper production. Students must cover stories, write and edit content, and lastly, create layouts. Hence, all students may participate in the activity, and dyslexia students may show up themselves in graphic design because most of them are more creative compared to non-dyslexia. Second is operating a store. Setting up a shop in the classroom exposes kids about small business. Students may sell school goods as inventory. Students may take turns running the shop, and they might be assigned to check inventory, purchase supplies, and balance money over sold goods. This project requires the PJ Level 3 concrete operation. The last activity is building a village. A teaching activity that uses students' cognitive design skills is creating a village using interlocking bricks. Assign each team a section of the village to build. Assign groups to design the section. Determine the kinds and amounts of blocks required. Then assemble their construction. PJ style classroom emphasize discovery learning and children's interests according to Educational Psychology Interactive. This building exercise encourage exploration and interest in design and construction.
May find it difficult to match letters to sounds and to remember how to spell words. They may even see letters moving around when they're reading. Remembering lots of instructions can be especially hard. They may need more thinking time to remember the right word.
Chicken! No wait, duck!
Based on the documentary before, I have analyzed 4 types of dyslexia which are proposed based on the symptoms. First is phonological dyslexia. This is also called as diphonetic or auditory dyslexia. People with this type of dyslexia have difficulty processing the sound of the individual letters and cannot match them with the written forms. Second is surface dyslexia. This is also called as visual dyslexia. This type of dyslexia is marked by difficulty recognizing whole words, which probably result from vision issues or vision processing difficulties in the brain. With trouble recognizing the words, these people may have a hard time learning and memorizing words. Third is rapid naming deficit. The person finds it is difficult to name a letter, number, color, or object quickly and automatically. The processing speed is slow and takes time to name them. The fourth one is double deficit dyslexia. This person with this type of dyslexia shows deficit in both the phonological process and naming speed. The majority of the weakest readers fall under this category.
Dyslexic people can do a lot of things. They just might do them in a different way to how others would, and many of them have even become famous for it.
However, despite the different types of dyslexia, I have made a research and they actually share many similarities in common. First is excellent in seeing pattern and solving problem by imagining and rotating objects in their head. Second is great at interacting with people, like sharing stories and making people laugh. Third is demonstrate better skills at manipulating 3D objects. They are likely taking things apart, understanding the process, and reconstructing them. Fourth one is wonderfully imaginative, especially in drawing, painting, and build things.
A private tutor who would work with Dustin at his public school.
We were paying for the therapy, and why would we keep it in an environment that won't say the word dyslexia, that wasn't providing the therapy? So why not pull him into a private school that has a specialized reading intervention for dyslexia? We pulled the trigger and did what's best for Dustin.
There he had special lessons to boost focus and memory. It boosted his self-confidence as well.
I saw him start to open up. I started to see his attitude change. I started to see his social dynamics changes.
Dyslexia brings a lot of challenges, especially towards young children in school. The major challenge for dyslexic students are difficulties in reading and writing. Initially, the students have problems with mastering the relationship between sounds and symbols, word building, and word analysis. This may cause them to read very slowly with many inaccuracies, frequently spell the same word differently, and have trouble with comprehension. By having these difficulties, it will result in poor concentration in class. Many dyslexic learners cannot concentrate in a long period of lecture because their working memory is overloaded and they struggle to process things in an auditory way. Many times, because of the fact of not being able to do these things, one's self-esteem can be compromised, resulting in behaviors such as anger, frustration, and avoidance. These behaviors not only challenge the individual, but everyone around them. Most of the parents expressed that they had time constraint in managing their dyslexic children. The children with dyslexia need extra time and assistance to finish their homework. Another challenge in raising dyslexic children is related to issues at school. Parents are disappointed with the way some teachers treated their children. They often ignored students with learning disabilities and did not aware of their students' condition. In my opinion, we are able to overcome the challenges of dyslexia by applying the Erikson's lifespan development theory. According to this theory, each individual psyche is shaped through a series of conflicts called developmental crises. One of the key crises for children is known as initiative versus guilt. It is the third stage of Erikson's theory of psychosocial development. This is an important stage where children learn that they have the right to take initiative on what they like. As we know, dyslexic learners face a lot of crises throughout their growing process. I believe that by giving them the opportunity to make choices and act upon those choices, dyslexic children will surely enjoy their learning experience. For example, we should let them to listen to audiobooks as an alternative to reading, type on a computer or tablet instead of writing, and use apps that turn decoding into a game. Students with dyslexia have a hard time in adjusting with the traditional learning style. So, these are some great options for them to read and write better. Let them choose the method that suits them best. However, if they make mistakes, parents and teachers must show them how to fix and redo it instead of simply punishing them. This will make students feel more confident in their abilities.
It's important to know that even though children don't outgrow dyslexia, they can become skilled readers and strong learners. With the right support, they can succeed in school and in life.
There have been many famous dyslexic inventors, writers, scientists, business people, astronomers, paleontologists, actors, cooks, singers, artists, architects, and so on. Dyslexic people have changed the world. See dyslexia differently.